It happens every morning. I'm sitting in the office trying to have some coffee, trying to wake up, and I notice there's some movement outside my window. There's Amber trying to get my attention. And this is the way they really try to get my attention.
Waitress. Waitress.
And then there's Silky, Amber's sister.
Waitress.
And she's the one that came up with this idea of beating on the window to get our attention. Amber and Silky are my neighbor's cats. And they come over every morning, first thing, looking for some breakfast. They have treats maybe 4 or 5 times a day. And then by about 5 or 6 o'clock, they're ready for a real serious feed of cat food. One day about 2 years ago, I was walking down the road just on a daily walk, and this orange and white cat ran out of the bushes like it was trying to get my attention. And I went back later that day with a little bit of some treats, and this cat acted like it was starving. And so I went back a little later that day with a can of tuna, and at that point realized there was another cat there. There was this gray cat, and they ate that tuna fish they hadn't eaten for days. It was a cold winter day. And then the next day, I went out to town, and when I came back, these 2 cats were sitting on my front porch a quarter of a mile from where they were living. And how they even knew it was my house, I can't imagine. And it just really says something about cats' smell and sense of homing in on being taken care of. And to make a long story short, they then were adopted by my neighbor across the street. And but they've never forgotten that I was the source of their being taken care of. And so they see me as just as much their human partner as the person that's really their owner. And they spend most of every day over at my house. And there has to be a lot of this every day. It's not just the food. Look at that one. Silky and Amber's particularly. Well, they're both loving. But Amber will choose loving over food. Silky wants the food first. Actually, Silky got her name because she is soft as silk. She is just amazingly soft. But we have some other names for her. We've given her the name of Guts because she really likes to eat. And we also call her Elvis because she eats and she eats and she eats. We usually have about 3 kinds of treats and 2 or 3 kinds of cat food because we hate the idea of them getting bored. They both like to hunt a lot. But Amber is much more, being a male, he's much more, he spends a lot more time hunting than Silky. Silky spends most of her time lounging and eating. I've raised this bird feeder a few times, trying to get it too high for... Oh, yeah, there's Silky still eating. I raised the bird feeder trying to get it too high for Amber to catch a bird, but it just gives him incentive to increase his leaps. Wow, let's see that again in slow motion. And as I said, Silky spends a lot of her time just lounging. She loves our front porch for her afternoon nap. And we can go off for hours and come back and she's either here or having a bath or sleeping or out in the bushes asleep. But this is her favorite afternoon spot. And then here we go again, every day. It's a fresh day. Fresh day to looking for something to eat.
Waitress. Could we please get some breakfast here?
But how can you say no to something that looks that sweet?